So we are back here once again, and we're here to talk about the Can-Am or the Garden View Valley Duels or whatever the hell it's called. We're here to talk about the Twin 125s. Yeah, that's really old school right there. We're going to talk about what happened in the races, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on really all the stuff that happened in the duels. And really, the thing I'm mostly going to be talking about is really this is going to be sort of my video, or this is really going to be me mostly be criticizing really kind of the drivers we have in the modern day sort of NASCAR. So to give you a rundown on all the duels, duel number one had a little bit of side-by-side racing. Not a lot of drivers were wanting to do anything at all. And the only big thing that happened in the duels, or the only highlight of the first duel, was Daniel Suarez wrecking out of the duel and not qualifying for the Daytona 500. This is a pretty big major story. That pretty much means that, yeah, Daniel Suarez won't be racing in the Daytona 500. But really, the thing that kind of sucks really about this is that the situation really could have been avoidable, really, when you really kind of thought about it. And really, a lot of people are putting the blame on Truex and Christopher Bell, which honestly I wouldn't put the blame on them, but maybe I would somewhat would put the blame on them. But really, I don't think that I don't really know. I mean, Daniel Suarez pretty much couldn't get in line with them. It really does seem like, and plus, I mean, I don't know. Really, the main thing that caused this incident was miscommunication. And honestly, Brad Keselowski and all the Ford drivers should have had their hand out the window saying that they were going to come in and pit. And unfortunately, and that didn't happen. And Suarez kind of had to react quickly. And then Blaney was there. And actually, something weird is that Blaney actually put the blame on this, which I don't really see how you blame for it. But hey, that's kind of Blaney opening up to a mistake, which I honestly have to go back and look at it again. But I don't know. I don't really think Blaney did anything wrong there. I think it was just a racing deal, really kind of miscommunication and stuff like that. So that was the major. So that was the only major highlight of the first duel, and basically throughout, that was kind of the only caution. And then it was just race to the end and see could anyone make a move and who wouldn't. And no one did. Eric Almirola hooked up to Joey Logano and basically pushed him to the Can-Am duel win. So yeah, as you can see, that I'm not really happy with that. I'll get into that later. But going into the second duel, this one had a lot more side by side racing, and really the fastest car of the whole, or really the best car, or the driver who had the best car throughout the Can-Am duel, or for the second duel. I'm gonna call them Can-Am duels, so please bear with me. I don't care what the new name is called. It's the duels, and it's the duels. But what was I gonna say? Kevin Harvick had the best car in duel number two, and had really good help from my man Matthew Benedetto. So yeah, and honestly, I was kind of expecting the Benedetto not to race him, but I don't know, man. I really wish he could have raced him and could have gotten maybe a duel win, which that could have been cool, and just prove to people that, yeah, he can be capable of winning races. But maybe he's saving it for the Daytona 500. You don't really know. So the only other highlight that happened was J.J. Yaley getting wrecked out, and he was one of the drivers who had to get into the Daytona 500. So he got wrecked out, and that ended his Daytona 500 chances. Yeah, and the two duels, the Daytona 500, the guys who had to get into the Daytona 500 got screwed because of a crash, or got out because of a crash. The Suarez one was totally not his fault. It was just a racing deal. While for J.J. Yaley, completely his fault. I mean, Byron went up, J.J. Yaley went up, and then went up into Corey LaJoy. I mean, no wonder why the guy is driving is now a back marker driver. So getting back to normal discussion, so we then have to restart. Calvis was trying to make a move, but no one went with him. And then the line of Chevrolets then span out, and then we had a race. William Byron between Jimmy Johnson and Kurt Busch. And on the final lap, Jimmy Johnson touched Kurt Busch, and then Kurt Busch then touched Kevin Harvick, forcing him down below the yellow line. Which I don't think NASCAR called a penalty on that. I mean, it didn't really do anything at all. I mean, what were they going to do? Just force him back or something like that? I don't know. There really wasn't a penalty for that. If that was for the race win, then maybe they would have done something like that. But anyways, William Byron, he had such a big gap between them that basically Byron just said, screw you guys, or screw you guys, I'm gonna win. I don't know. It didn't really go with it. Yeah, I basically said gone and all that stuff. So that was really the two Can-Am duels. Overall, the first duel was probably the worst out of the two. You know, just I will get into really my criticisms with the drivers that we have in the Cup Series right now. But the second duel was a bit more better, you know, considering that most of the drivers in that duel we did have some of the older drivers in there and stuff, so I guess that's what kind of made it pretty much better. And we also had some young guys being aggressive too. But going to my major criticism about the duels and really about the way these drivers have been racing on the super speedways and including speed weeks, and that is these drivers, they're not even aggressive. They won't even go for a win at all. Gone are the days where drivers like Dale Earnhardt Jr., like Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards, if that was the drivers in that situation, they would go for the win. But I know people are going to make the argument saying that, well, it's just the Can-Am duel, and plus they don't want to wreck their cars and stuff like that. Okay, then what's the purpose of even running the race then? Or hell, why don't these teams even criticize that we shouldn't run the duel, we should just have normal qualifying and all this stuff? But I don't know, just these drivers don't, it doesn't even, and also the fact that Logano won the first duel, that was the most easiest way you can ever win at Daytona. Do nothing, just turn left again, full throttle, have the guy behind you push you to the win. And yeah, pretty much the 22 and the 10, those guys were pretty much tandem drafting pretty much, and no one else can pretty much touch them at all. And none of the other drivers wanted to go for the win either, which it just pisses me off how you guys are racing. You guys are supposed to be the best drivers in NASCAR. Well, you know what? Most of these drivers aren't even the best drivers at all. Not even. A lot of the best drivers were in the second duel, which is why the second duel was better than the first one. It seems like there's this you have half of the drivers that will go aggressive, that they will go for the win. You also got another set where they won't go for the win, and they hardly even race anyone to get a win at all. I can tell you that straight up fact. Logano, Almirola, Newman, Clint Boyer didn't even have to race anyone. None of their career wins did they have to actually race anyone. Logano and Martinsville 2018. But really with restrictor plate racing, and actually as a matter of fact, all of them do have a restrictor plate win, and most of them are won in the most boringest way possible. So, just, yeah, I mean, we have the best drivers we have supposedly the best drivers in the world. No, that's not even a fact. We have the worst driver. NASCAR has pretty much the worst drivers on the field. Or in racing, probably in America and in the world. These guys won't even go for a win. And I know the argument is going to be brought up. It's just a dual win. It probably won't even matter. But come on, you guys are racing, okay? This is not a test. It's not practice. It's a race. That would piss me off about the duels tonight, as drivers won't even go for the win. I credit Denny Hamlin, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., William Byron, and pretty much all the drivers that were racing in the second duel. They attempted to race, while the others didn't even attempt. So that's my big major criticism of the duel. And that's pretty much, and I guess I didn't mention that in the Clash review, but that's pretty much why the Clash sucks pretty much nowadays. The drivers won't even go for the win. They won't even race throughout the middle of the race. They just try to stick in a line, trying to avoid all the crashes. And hell, they didn't even avoid the crashes. They were all involved. They were all involved. And yeah, I mean that pretty much that's how it is, pretty much. Which sucks. Which pretty much sucks. So yeah, Joey Logano starting second. Or no, Joey Logano starting third in the Daytona 500. William Byron is in fourth. And you know the rest of the lineup. I'm not even going to mention it. So that's my review of the Can-Am duels. The first duel gets a 6 out of 10. You already know my criticisms. The second duel kind of gets an 8 out of 10. We did have a little boring part in the race. But it did get pretty interesting when J.J. Yaley wrecked and stuff like that. So we have the Gander Outdoors Truck Series race tomorrow, which that should be a good race. We got the NASCAR Xfinity Series race Saturday, and then we have the Daytona 500. So Speed Weeks is almost going to wrap up, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Tell me what your thoughts were on the duels, and do you agree with my opinion or not? Let me know. Thank you all for watching.